Mark Staples, and I'm the host of Charter Communications program called Local Edition, where we feature commentary and questions and interviews with local and statewide government officials and legislators. And one of them, who is very prominent very quickly in the Montana legislature, is Representative Nancy Ballance from Ravalli County, who has become chairman of the House Appropriations Committee, arguably the most powerful committee in the legislature, in only your second term. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a lot of responsibility.
It is, Mark. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. It's where I wanted to be.
You're the first cut. Your committee is the first cut at the governor's budget. Is that correct? Or the second?
Well, we will break up into subcommittees.
Yes.
First, and our subcommittees will start looking at that starting tomorrow, as a matter of fact. And then
the fourth day of the legislature, you're already at it.
We will have the governor's budget.
Yes. And thus far, your first take on that budget? Or is it too soon to say?
Well, it's not too soon to say. It's big. It is big. There's an increase of about 7.5%, depending on which numbers you use. And one of the issues that we have that we're trying to work on this session is being consistent in the way we compare. One of the things we noticed after my first session last time, we went home and people would ask, well, how much did that budget change? And it was very difficult to give an answer that you could really talk to people about, because it depends on what you include. So the very first thing we're trying to do, we started this afternoon, was to make that budget more consistent biennium to biennium and be consistent with our terminology.
You know, a lot of people say they want to be on those committees, but they're really, I hate to say it, they're not numbers people. You can see their eyes glazing over. You actually told me you like this. This is your bailiwick, is budgets and numbers. How did you come to that liking?
Well, interesting that you would ask. I do not consider myself a numbers person.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
I consider myself a concept person. I came out of information technology, so I understand numbers.
Oh.
I understand how budgets work, because many, many, many years ago when I started in technology, it was all about accounting budgets. So that's where I learned. And so to me, a budget is a way to perform business functions. So I tend to look at it more from a business functionality point of view than I do from the pure numbers point of view.
Now, people have said through the years we ought to run government more like a business. Can we? Are those apples and oranges? Can we?
In many ways, they are apples and oranges. In many, and we'll get into that, because if you notice in the governor's budget, there's a very, very large bonding bill.
Right.
Corporate bonding, personal bonding, government bonding are quite different. So next week we will, or I guess the following week, we'll hold a session on bonding, Bonding 101, and talk about those different. Yes, because everyone comes in with knowledge about bonding, but they can't necessarily apply it to government.
And this is because everybody's finally kind of come to the agreement that there are massive infrastructure needs across Montana, not just eastern Montana, but part of this, there are some who say we can bond at such low interest currently that we really ought to borrow at least a good portion of the money, as opposed to spending our cash, which is off making this much on its investment. Is that why looking at bonding is so important? Or
it is why it's so important, because it does give you cash to spend on some things that you might not otherwise. The flip side of that is that it's not like a typical borrow, spend, invest that you'd find in a business. So that's why we want to make sure that the legislators on the Appropriations Committee understand that, because it is a little bit different.
Good. So you're going to have a seminar on bonding.
Yes, we will.
I like that. So as that, you're going to be just a lot of work, and particularly as the chair, and lots of bills and long sessions. But you're still the representative for your district.
Yes.
So is there any particular issues where you're going to blend this statewide perspective with something that is more constituent-based from Ravalli County?
Absolutely. Ravalli County, we had a major increase over the last couple of years in employment numbers, but we still are underemployed. Our wages are low, so economic development for Valley County will continue to be a big, big issue. So it's something that I can't ignore from a Montana perspective, nor from a county perspective.
And part of the stimulus would be, you're thinking resource development? Take what some people consider the restrictions off resource development? Is that
we would love to talk
formula?
that. Unfortunately, Ravalli County is timber resources,
right.
So that's a federal government issue, not a state. We're happy with the state.
Right,
the
everybody's
state
happy
issues.
with the state. Yeah.
But as you know, the transfer of public lands is a big issue too, and that means a
we
lot
had
to
another half
Ravalli
hour,
County.
we'd start down
we
that
sure would.
And we don't really. We have about a minute left.
Good.
I want you to tell me, you're driving away from the session 90 days from now. What do you hope to have accomplished?
I hope that we would have made some difference in terms of jobs and the economy. We have got to affect that. We have to touch infrastructure, as you said, and we balance the budget in a way that does what we need to do in terms of funding our major issues, and it's balanced, and we're happy with the growth.
And you can drive home to the beautiful Bitterroot Valley,
You bet.
having done
You
your
bet.
job. Well, thank you for
Thank you
being
so
willing
much.
to serve, for running
Thank
for
you.
the job, for winning and coming, doing all this hard work. People have no idea how much hard work it is and how what they owe these legislators for doing it, besides just criticizing them. So thanks again. Thank you in your busy day for stopping by and seeing us.
You
and
bet.
Thank you all for tuning in. This is Charter Communications Local Edition. Thank you.